Project Downtown is a master plan of strategy. It was created back in 2010 to really be a roadmap to help the private sector and the public sector make very strategic investment to yield a very vibrant city center.
When the downtown planning project started, downtown was a lot of empty buildings, a lot of offices had relocated, a lot of folks had moved out of downtown. It wasn't a ghost town, but it was, there was not a lot of walking activity on the streets during the day and during the evenings.
Strategically, we needed to know how to move forward. Before the plan, we were helter-skelter. You had somebody over here who wanted to do something, somebody over there that wanted to be doing something, but we didn't have a cohesive way to move about it.
There was a lot of skepticism. Was the Intrust Bank Arena going to work? Was downtown really going to take off? Or were they just some pocket successes? A lot of people wanting to make things work, but it wasn't unified.
It was a time when the community really leaned in to say, now's the time to figure out where we want to go, so that as the country begins to recover, we can move quickly in executing and really seeing that plan come to fruition. And Goody Clancy, by far, was the best group. I mean, that was the group that really connected with our community. And so from that moment, we started this process of engagement where every 6 weeks they had a touch point with the community, and they'd come back and say, you know, this is what we heard and this is how we translated it into the vision plan. And as a result of that, by the time it came to adopting the plan, people already owned it.
I think it was a good plan, but a good plan is not always good because of who does it. A lot of it is when is it done and what's the full team. So the city, the WDDC, a broad spectrum of the business community, the consultant team really worked as partners in this process. Now, if we're going to take any personal credit, I won't take it for good ideas we had. I hope we had some. It was to really understand that every single idea needed to be backed up by achievable implementation, and we had to have enough support by the time we were finished that we could have confidence that things would move forward.
From my perspective, the plan was successful because you were able to follow it. You know, a lot of plans, they start at this 50,000 foot elevation and say, okay, you need to do this. And then it sits on the shelf because you can never get to the 50,000 foot elevation. But our plan brought it down to street level.
That planning process used those consultants and brought the community together, ended up with a project that had catalyst sites in it, so that people could see we don't have to do the whole plan at one time. These are areas where we can have starter projects that will help bring other projects on board. I think it was important for that to happen so that people who had not been developing in downtown would see, how can I be a part of this, have a bite at the apple without taking on the whole apple, if you will.
I think the one that really seemed to be that the vote of confidence that Wichitans were taking in downtown was when Cargill did the Innovation Center. That commitment then led into other ones. Moving their corporate headquarters down in Old Town, moving that Cargill Center there, that building, it's gorgeous. NASCAR Park, firework that's south of the Intrust Bank Arena. And I love seeing the fact that it's not just in Old Town, it's not just on Douglas, we're seeing everything starting to expand.
It's been fun watching this development. You know, it brings back memories for me of the former mayor, Carl Brewer. I remember that when we cut the ribbon for the Kansas Leadership Center, that was the first building, and I remember him being there and doing that. So this was a dream for Carl too. That was his vision, was to see this become a dominant part of our city, to be a destination place for all of Wichita to come and to be a part of, and that's what he wanted. He didn't get to see it all, but he's watching, he's watching.
Project Downtown was a 15-year vision, and we're 10 years into that journey. I envisioned that probably in the next few years, we're going to take the moment as a community to revisit, because there's a lot of new dynamics now. So as this community continues to mature and grow, I think there's a whole new opportunity with that master plan. We have some challenges to work through, but even in those moments of challenge, because we've done that other work, we can still walk forward with certainty. And I think that honestly, as a result of that, we're going to see some remarkable things, even coming out of this moment of 2020. I think there's going to be some really remarkable things as we go into 2021.